Hi, everybody. Welcome back for another chapter of Sri Nisargadatta Maharaja's I Am That. Chapter 95, Accept Life as It Comes. Accept life as it comes if you can. If you can. I was here last year. Now I am again before you. What makes me come? I really do not know. But somehow I cannot forget you. Some forget, some do not, according to their destinies, which you may call chance if you prefer. Between chance and destiny, there is a basic difference. Only in your mind. In fact, you do not know what causes what. Destiny is only a blanket word to cover up your ignorance. Chance is another word. Without knowledge of causes and their results, can there be freedom? Causes and results are infinite in number and variety. Everything affects everything. Everything affects everything. In this universe, when one thing changes, everything changes because everything is interconnected and all is one. Hence, the great power of man in changing the world by changing himself. Imagine any of the great ones, Nisargadatta, Ramana Maharshi, Gandhi, Jesus, Martin Luther King, anybody who you think is great, who has done a lot for this world. What if they had not? What if they had not said yes to life? Albert Einstein, Steve Jobs, if you want to put him up there, but what if they had said, no, I don't want to do it, or no, I'm afraid. What if I fail? What if I don't succeed? What will happen to me? I think I'll just stay in my bubble, my comfort circle. Saint Francis of Assisi, so many beautiful human beings who just because they lived and they did the work and they transformed themselves and they woke up, however again you want to speak about it, because of their lives, they have created so many other changes in the world. When one thing changes, everything changes. Well, what if you make tons of changes? What if you continue to change, continue to purify, continue to surrender to God more and more and more? That ripples out the benefits, the good results, the good fruit. Love. What if you send love every day? Love, love, love. If you serve every day, imagine the changes that can happen. Even if you don't see them, for sure, some of them are happening. Some change is happening. Life is being affected by your choices, good or bad. So if you change yourself, if you wake up, Ramana Maharshi, I think, was the one who said, if you want to help the world, the best thing you can do is to wake up, is to realize the self. When that happens, the human being becomes a bright light, and that light expands and transforms and changes a lot. It has the potential of doing that. I'm sure there are many beings who have woken up, who have not been called to teach, who have not been called to share the message, and perhaps they only affected a small circle. That's okay. This isn't about quantity, it's about quality. Remember, this is only in the relative world. In the absolute, no change is even necessary. The ocean is the ocean. And no matter what happens in the ocean, doesn't really affect the ocean of God, the ocean of being. According to your own words, you have, by the grace of your guru, changed radically some 40 years ago. Yet the world remains as it had been before. My world has changed completely. Yours remains the same, for you have not changed. How is it that your change has not affected me? Because there was no communion between us. Do not consider yourself as separate from me, and we shall at once share in the common state. Let go of separation, and we shall share in the common unity, the common oneness, the common state, the stateless state. Nobody else needs you. Your dreams of glory will land you in more trouble. We could call it the spiritual ego. When the spiritual ego gets a hold of some of these concepts and ideas, it thinks, oh, it gets the Messiah complex. I will save the world. I will start an ashram or a nonprofit, or I will write a book. And some of these, of course, they can be very good-hearted in their intentions. But sometimes you can cause more trouble, especially if you want to change people. If you walk around, I'm going to change you. How do you think most people will react to that? No, you're not going to change me. In fact, now that you want to change me, I will fight you even more. The ego is tough. That's why the only thing that will melt or dissolve the ego is love. Sweet love. Because the ego, we could say a part of the ego wants that love, of course, because it is the ultimate pleasure. The ego wants to be happy. It wants to be loved. It wants to be accepted. So in a sense, it's almost tricked. It feels that presence of love and it says, oh, love is here. Oh, I'll just relax in this love. And what happens? It keeps relaxing. And before you know it, the ego has dissolved, disappeared, died. Again, it's not a thing, so we don't need to mourn the ego. It's just a process. It's not real. So don't worry about grieving your ego. It is not glory that I seek reality. Well, if you seek reality, the truth, for this you need a well-ordered and quiet life. Peace of mind and immense earnestness. So a well-ordered life. Why? Because again, it starts here. The mind is very entertaining. And we love entertainment. We love the story, part of us. We love that drama. And Nisargadatta is saying, look, if you want reality, you have to let go of this drama. You have to see through it at least. You can't be so invested in the drama if you want peace, reality, which doesn't have drama. In total acceptance and love of what is, there's nothing. There's no conflict. There's only resolution. So, clean up your life, clean up your body, get rid of the drama and the pain and the suffering. Do what you can to alleviate that suffering in yourself first, and then in those around you whom you love. Have a clean, orderly, peaceful life. Simple, humble, simple, humble. And allow everything to get very quiet. Just disappear in the silence. And the last thing to become silent is the mind. The mind will even give you commentary about silence. Is it quiet? Do you hear anything? Is it silent yet? Are we there yet? Did it happen? But when you have an orderly life, a quiet life, a simple life, when you just do what needs to be done. Oh, I need to make my bed. Okay, make my bed. Oh, I need to wash my dishes. Okay, wash my dishes. Feed my cat. Just to do what is necessary without any drama. Make it clean. Make all of your relationships with everything clean. Don't add fuel to the fire. Don't increase the chaos and the drama, and let it all disappear. Let it all melt in love and compassion, silence. And that peace of mind will then just happen. That's the best. Not by fighting with the mind or trying to control the mind or stop thought. No, just stop giving the mind your attention. And be earnest. Your actions will speak louder than your words. I want God. And then, I don't know, you go off and do whatever you do. But if you really want God, then you have to, it appears, apparently, you have to give some time and energy to the search. Not out there, but here. Being with this awareness. Being with the presence, the aliveness. Listening to some good teachers on YouTube. Adyashanti, Muji, Tony Parsons, Gangaji, whoever it is that you love. Eckhart Tolle. Give some time for the silence. Give some space. Do some yoga. Do some meditation. Do some Tai Chi. Do some service. Help some people. Purify your diet. If you create the space for reality to enter, it will. But if you're always staying busy, literally physically busy, or just mentally busy, thinking, busy, I can't talk, I'm busy, I'm thinking, then you never create the conditions for silence to reveal itself to you. Stillness, presence. Right now, it's always the best time just to take a moment. I am a peaceful mind, a peaceful heart. Nothing to do, nothing to figure out, nothing to understand. God, I am here. Transform me. Help me to wake up to the reality of you, of Parabrahman, of the Absolute. Show me, God, what is real, eternal, and changeless. And show me what is false, temporary, and always changing. At every moment, whatever comes to you unasked comes from God and will surely help you if you make the fullest use of it. It is only what you strive for out of your own imagination and desire that gives you trouble. So don't ask for anything. God, give me what you want to give me. Give me that which will help me to waken up, to wake up. And all of those desires and fantasies, take them away, God. Empty this vessel, empty this mind, and fill it with you, God. Fill it with your love, your presence, your being. Take away everything, God, so that only you remain. Take away everything, God, so that only you remain. Not my will, but thy will be done unto and through me. Make me a channel of your peace, your love, your wisdom, your knowingness. And again, reveal to me that which is birthless and deathless. And allow the false self, the ego, allow it to melt in love, dissolve, and disappear. By your grace. It's by your grace that I sing. It's by your grace that I sing. It's by thy grace that I sing your holy name. Is destiny the same as grace? Absolutely. Accept life as it comes, and you will find it a blessing. Accept life as it comes, and you will find it a blessing. Destiny is the same as grace. Absolutely. Every human body, every incarnation, name and form has a destiny. Allow it to happen. Do not fight with life. Follow your heart. Follow the inner voice in your heart, not in your head. And it will lead you and guide you to where you need to be in order to grow, to expand, in order to learn, in order to love and be loved, in order to serve and be served. You could call it Dharma, whatever it is that your Dharma is in this lifetime. May you realize your Dharma. May it find you. May it reveal itself to you so that you can experience ease, grace, and flow. One with life, harmoniously living life. I can accept my own life. How can I accept the sort of life others are compelled to live? You are accepting it anyhow. The sorrows of others do not interfere with your pleasures. If you were really compassionate, you would have abandoned long ago all self-concern and entered the state from which alone you can really help. If you were really compassionate, you would have abandoned long ago the ego, the person, the self-concern, the me and the mine. And you would have entered into that state from which alone you can really help others. But the past is the past. What about now? What about the next time you come across sorrow, suffering, dukkha, as the Buddha called it? First, the suffering in your own heart, in your own mind, and then the suffering of those whom you love. I see that you are suffering. How may I help you? What can I do to alleviate your suffering, to reduce your suffering? And what you may find, as Nisargadatta says, is that you will find a greater pleasure in the acceptance of pain than by simply living a shallow sense gratification sort of lifestyle. I just want pleasure, pleasure, me, mine, mine, ice cream, cars, sex, music, whatever it is. But if you really open to the one, so that there's equanimity with pain and pleasure, happiness and sorrow, when you open to the one, when you're no longer running from pain, but you accept pain and pleasure equally, and you love and you serve yourself, because you are included in the whole, but also, of course, your neighbors. Jesus said, love God with all that you have, all that you are, and love your neighbor as yourself. Pretty simple, but the debates continue, the arguments continue, the fighting continues religiously, I mean. And meanwhile, how many people are actually living the two great commandments of love, loving God? God, I love you. What can I do? How can I serve you? And loving neighbors, family, friends, colleagues, whoever appears before you. Because in a sense, of course, there are no people. There are no people. There's only states of mind, states of consciousness. So it's about your relationship to pain. What is your relationship to pain? Can you be with pain? Can you be with suffering? Can you allow it to be? Can you allow suffering just to float? Just to be there? Acknowledge it, but neither hold on to it, and then become a victim or a martyr. Oh, suffering, suffering, oh. Or running from it. Pain. I don't want to feel pain. He's depressed. I don't want to talk to him. Our happiness is so fragile. It's so vulnerable. The egoic happiness. Nisargadatta says, one look, one strange look from somebody, or a look of judgment, and our entire self-image is shattered. We feel a pain in our heart. He doesn't like me. She's judging me. I don't have their love or their approval or their acceptance. This is why, as long as we identify with the person, we will suffer. The poor person, the self-conscious, fearful, scared person. Love the person. Again, there is no person. There's just energy and consciousness, states of mind, states of being. And when that fear comes to you, love that fear. Reassure that fear. Everything's going to be okay. And right now, all is well. all is well. Maybe not on the surface level, maybe there are problems and chaos, but down, deep, 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 at the essence of what you are, all is well. Because that essence is the divine essence, the unmanifested ground of being, which is perfectly fine. It's untouched, like the wall, clean, clear, empty, empty, empty. Birthless, deathless, untouched by the sorrow and the happiness, untouched by the movie, by the drama, by the play. If I have a big house and enough land, I may create an ashram with individual rooms, a common meditation hall, canteen, library, office, etc. Nisargadatta says, ashrams are not made, they happen. You cannot start nor prevent an ashram, as you cannot start or stop a river. When there is, a great being, a cosmic force, if it is the destiny, for example, Nisargadatta wasn't interested in starting an ashram. He felt that it would be binding. He would be made a prisoner of the ashram, if I remember correctly. But then you had Neem Karoli Baba, Ram Das's guru, Krishna Das's guru. And I think he had several ashrams, if I remember correctly. At least I know he traveled from temple to temple. But notice that as well. Neem Karoli Baba never really stayed in one place for a long time, I think. I think he was always traveling. So Satya Sai Baba, I know he has 2 or 3 ashrams. So these things happen. Why? Because the disciples, the devotees are in love. They are in love with the guru. And in a sense, they want to control the guru. They want to keep the guru where they can look at them, right? Because it's so pleasing. It's so pleasing to stare at the form of the guru whom you love. So the disciples say, hey, we'll put a nice big chair here, and guru, you sit there, and then we will circle you, and we will stare at you, and we will listen to you, and we will have a relationship with you. We will listen to your talks. We will sing chants. We will do what you ask of us. And of course, ashrams can be very powerful, sacred spaces, places, locations, portals even. Catalysts, for sure. Too many factors are involved in the creation of a successful ashram, and your inner maturity is only one of them. Of course, if you are ignorant of your real being, whatever you do must turn to ashes. You cannot imitate a guru and get away with it. All hypocrisy will end in disaster. Yes, you cannot fake the beloved. You can only be where you are and what you are. And everything is created from our present level of consciousness. That being said, sometimes God's grace does intervene, and someone who feels like they're down here is sort of catapulted up to here, at least for a period of time. Something is created or something is done, and then maybe they come back to here. And that's the grace of God, the grace of the guru. What is the harm in behaving like a saint even before being one. Rehearsing saintliness is a sadhana. It is perfectly all right, excuse me, provided no merit is claimed. So there's something to trying to put yourself in the shoes and the body of a saint. What does a saint feel like? What does a sage feel like? What does a saint do? There's a great book called The Imitation of Christ, in which we are exhorted to literally do what Jesus did, to follow his path, to empty ourselves, to love as he loved, forgive as he forgave. And of course, that's a legitimate, most legitimate path. But provided no merit is claimed. So don't, again, you have to watch the ego. The ego wants to creep in there and say, yeah, look at me. I am a saint. I am a sage. I am enlightened. And you may be able to fool a few people, but you can't fool God. And you can't fool those who are above you. They will see, sorry, you're not exactly where you think you are or where you would like to be. So you can only be where you are at. And you know what? That's great. That's perfect, because where you are is perfect. Where you are and what you are is great, because where you are, you have total access to the totality. There is no limitation for you. And if there is a seeming obstacle, it will dissolve. How can I know whether I'm able to start an ashram unless I try? As long as you take yourself to be a person, a body, a mind, separate from the stream of life, having a will of its own, pursuing its own aims, you are living merely on the surface, and whatever you do will be short-lived and of little value. Mere straw to feed the flames of vanity. You must put in true worth before you can expect something real. What is your worth? By what measure shall I measure it? Look at the content of your mind. You are what you think about. You are what you think about. Look, examine the content of your mind. Look at your self-image. Look at your ego, your desires, your fears, your likes, your dislikes. You are what you think about. Are you not most of the time busy with your own little person and its daily needs? Just be honest. No judgment. Just see what is. The value of regular meditation is that it takes you away from the humdrum of daily routine and reminds you that you are not what you believe yourself to be. But even remembering is not enough. Action must follow conviction. Don't be like the rich man who has made a detailed will but refuses to die. Don't be like the rich man who has made a very detailed will but refuses to die. The preparation alone is gradual. The change itself is sudden and complete. Again, like the fruit which ripens, the ripening takes a while, but when it is totally ripe, it drops from the tree like that, suddenly, completely, and that piece of fruit will not then run back up on the tree and reattach itself. So gradual change does not take you to a new level of conscious being. You need courage to let go. But remember, don't be afraid, because you can only lose what you are not. You can only lose that which is false, that which you've never been. So let it go. Discard all of that. Meditation is the art of achieving faith through understanding. In meditation, you consider the teaching received in all its aspects and repeatedly until out of clarity, confidence is born. And with confidence, action. Conviction and action are inseparable. If action does not follow conviction, examine your convictions. Don't accuse yourself of lack of courage. Self-deprecation will take you nowhere. Without clarity and emotional assent, of what use is will? Energy comes from love. You must love to act. Okay, I think that's enough. Thank you, Nisargadatta. Thanks, everybody. Rama Bolo, Bolo Bolo Ram. 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 Namaste.